Hey, welcome to the Small Business Big Idea Show. Talk resiliency. And Todd, I don't know about you, but we're winding down 2012, and this has got to be one of the more challenging years that I've faced in my business. It's kind of gone up and then down, up and then down. And when those downs happen, and I'm talking in terms of my business, like it's kind of like, oh, I've been buoyant, and then it's like, whoa, where did it go, right? Or contracts ended and there's nothing. So you have to be resilient this year. Did you find like 2012 to be a little like, wow, like challenging?
And I cannot get over the number of people that I see just from my Facebook group that say, I cannot wait for this year to end.
Yeah.
As if December 31st is just going to, at 12:01 on January 1st is going to be a big shift. And there may be.
There may be. Well, Angela said there might be, right? Aliens coming down to the planet. And the Argos won the Grey Cup. That's maybe that's it. And the Leafs are still unbeaten.
Well played.
It's a perfect year for the Leafs so far.
So, who knows? Anything's possible. All we need is that cold day in June, and maybe. But our next guest is Michael Ballard, and Michael helps people learn how to stretch in the face of life's upsets and adversity and create positive outcomes. And by doing so, they gain an understanding of the process and the factors that can deepen their capacity to thrive. They end up taking greater ownership over themselves, their thoughts, their journey, and their outcomes. And he helps people build their resiliency muscle and develop their potential for more positive outcomes in both their personal and business lives. And he joins us in studio. Michael, welcome.
Hello.
Nice to have you.
Great to be here.
Good. Well, at our age, it's good to be anywhere.
That's true.
Hey, at this age. So what's the secret to having a resilient attitude, Michael?
Well, I think it's something we do consciously as we mature. As a kid, your parents say, now, come on, brush yourself off, dust yourself up, get up, get on with it.
Yeah, but sometimes you're just in a heap of pain as a kid, You've fallen off the bike and that knee hurts.
Oh, and I have the scars to prove it.
Yeah, I bet. So do
on that knee.
Yeah.
Well, as adults, it's about how do we choose to frame things. It's stepping back and saying, okay, so I have an issue or issues, and then so there's a way to look at it. Our first initial, oh, I'm in deep. Or as I used to tease with one of my sales coaches, I'm up to this in my ankles. Except I'm in head first.
So what do we learn to be more resilient? Is it learned or modeled?
It's both, I would suggest. And there's the theory out of the U.S. that's had almost 1 million people through it for business professionals, that it's the explanatory styles and how we talk about things. So there's the, oh, woe is me, I have a gene in my health, in my body that makes me get sick every so often. Or there's the, oh, I get this gene in my body that I get sick, and I'm going to work around it and still have fun and still be productive.
But, I guess my biggest question for you is, are we icing a mud pie when we're resilient? Or are we honoring the pain? Are we honoring our upsets or the grief process when we choose another thought?
Them, but you got to move through them. I mean, the research from Harvard suggests those with chronic illness issues who are resilient have 20% less pain and symptoms.
Okay, so you've gone through some real chronic health issues,
chronic
with
health,
Crohn's.
2 bouts of cancer, daughter who's good now had a brain tumor. So how we choose to frame things honors what we have and what we're going through, and stretching helps us have a better quality of experience.
So how did it help you in times where you were like pretty well near death? Like,
I had an emergency surgery at 23 to 12 one night because, as I teased them when I came back into Emerge, something's not working and I'm here for warranty work. And so it was about acknowledge what you got. So I call it being a realistic optimist. If you're only pessimistic, then there's no upside. If you're only optimistic, I'm sorry, the reality is life is filled with both. However, if we lean gently with one foot in pessimism and realism, as some put it, and one foot in optimism, but we lean to the optimism, the research says that we have much better outcomes.
So how did you get yourself out of that? Like, how did you get, how did you break through the pessimism of, really having some serious health issues and getting through that.
Well, there's two major pieces. One's inner and one's outer. So the inner includes, in part, how do you choose to define yourself? Are you a victim or a victor? Well, being a victor isn't going to make my illness go away. But being a victor mentality means I'm going to have a better quality experience. So when I was in the cancer ward and they weren't sure I was going to live or die, I met a man. I said, "Hi, my name's Mike. What's yours?" "I got cancer stage 4. I'm not going to live long. What's a name worth anyways?"
Wow.
And I was like, wow, man, I'm going to live till I die. I'm not fading away. He's allowed his journey his way. I'm not imposing mine on him, but I'm not going to be that man. So my name's Michael. I got the following things going on that are good. And, oh, yeah, I got a big gray cloud. It's called cancer. But I'm going to have a good time, a good quality time until it's over, whether that's 6 days, 6 weeks, or 60 years from now. And so it started to change the quality of the experience. And the next thing you know, you start to attract people who go, "Teach me how to do that. Why'd you do that?" So I keep saying, well, it's about the quality of the journey and the quality of the outcome. I might not live, but I'll be going to go down fighting with both guns blazing. Oh. So in sales and in business, and for your small business listener, we get a lot of rejection out there. I was reading an article last night that we used to get exposed to a couple of thousand ads a day.
3,000 ads.
And now it's thousands more than that.
Sure.
And so people are over communicated to visually, auditory, in every possible way. And so we have to be uniquely ourselves, and to be resilient means we'll still get rejection. When I first started sales,
sometimes we won't even get heard, dude.
No, yeah, well, no, with my personality, I almost always get heard.
True enough.
But it's about doing it in a way that nobody's feelings gets hurt, and people go, "I want a little bit of what they've got." So I helped the small business get a national client, and the buyer of the national client said, "Wow, I've been waiting for your call." Well, I did that by not talking to him. I talked to all his influencers, which is the other part of resiliency. There's inner and there's outer, which is the network of professionals and friends and family and support people that we decide to have in our orbit. And to me, you recruit, you retain, you nurture. And unfortunately, every now and again, you have to do a little bit of pruning because, we all change.
So you work with individuals and clients to help them build their resiliency muscle. Share a success story. Share maybe a client you've worked with, and what were the steps that you had to walk them through in order to A, shift their attitude, and B, start getting more positive results.
Sure.
Or having a positive frame or viewpoint over their work.
Sure. Well, at an individual level, I had a client that had been off work for 2 years. And so what we did was we got them to examine how they define themselves. Oh, you have a health issue. Okay, that's why you're off work. Because they approached me and said, I've taken all the medical steps necessary to get back to work, but after 2 years, fail. And so they don't live geographically close. They're offshore. So we did a lot of email and Skyping and telephone calls. And we got them to start with, how have you chosen to define yourself with this issue? Is it defining you or are you defining it? And the reality is that for most of us, it's both. So just like the guy with the liver cancer, oh, I have a health issue. I want to go to work, but I can't get out of bed. And I said, okay, it's a good place to start. It's honest. But how would you like to define yourself? And so we've helped her change her definition of self. So she's no longer just the victim of the issue. She's got it, and she's in deep. She laughed when I said, well, I'm up to my ankles with things too, head first. And then over time, how are you going to change from being up to your ankles in it to up to your eyeballs in it, but ankles first? She went, ah. I said, then you start to get some clarity. So we've playfully reframed her situation. And within 6 sessions, she was back to work and has only missed a couple of days every couple of months.
Well, so what were those steps? So 1, acknowledge.
Acknowledge.
Like...
2, reframe it.
Okay.
Acknowledge that, yes, you're in deep. So be a realistic optimist. Don't be this over sunny, bright optimist that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
No basis in reality.
Right.
And then we have her practicing some physical, mental, and emotional skills. Because that's about calming your mind, calming your emotions, and calming your body, because then the clarity starts back.
So that sounds like meditation, visualization, deep breathing?
Deep breathing, diaphragmatic breathing.
We can have an anxiety or panic attack.
And then we go in small, tight circles and don't get anything accomplished. I call that being in flicker or frenzy.
Fight or flight kind of thing.
But fright and flight with no positive outcomes.
Right.
So fight and flight keeps us safe or keeps us entertained, but flicker or frenzy doesn't do either of those things. It just
You're chasing your tail.
You're chasing your tail. Thank you. Yeah, except in frenzy, you're chasing your tail so fast there's almost skid marks on the floor.
All right. So, and then from there,
And from there, so then we had her reach out, because that's some inner work. Then we had to reach out and say, look at your social network, your professional network. I'm a big guy on saying, do you have a library card? And if so, great. But when's the last time you used it? So we'll start off with a small goal. Once a month, you're going to go to the library on the computer and sign something out. And once a month, you go pick it up when it arrives. And then once a month, you'll take it back and pick up the new one. And that's to get you out socially. And that's to get you to get something. So if it's a gardening book.
And to learn.
And to learn something. And something safe and silly. Could be a book of jokes. Could be a Robin Williams comedy DVD. I don't care what it is. It's about getting out. And so over time, she's back to work. And
Breaking the routine, too.
Breaking the routine. Did it with a sales team. We got them into a national grocers. After 7 years of trying, they don't talk to us. Well, they get 500 calls a week from other small businesses. They don't have time. Be the one they want to talk to. So if you're being the one they want to talk to, when you call, they go, oh, we've been waiting for your call.
And in order to get to be the one they want to talk to, is that because of your attitude?
That's your attitude, the quality of voicemails you leave. The fact is, you're not telling the buyer, you got to call us because we're the best. He could care less. You and 500 other people said the same thing. In this case, it was food. So we talked to the food researcher who went, interesting. We talked to the packaging expert who went, oh, yeah, great packaging. And in this company, they're big on transfer of knowledge. So the 6 people on the decision team, there's also the 6 people that used to hold that job. So there's depth of experience. There's all the newbies with less than 2 years experience on the team, plus the people that used to be there. So there's 12 decision makers.
How does resiliency beat back your fears? Because we're going to face some fears
Absolutely.
as we're taking on the new and embracing, life with a different attitude and some new goals. So how does it beat back our fears?
It helps you acknowledge them. It helps you examine them, and it helps you define them. And if you define them, suddenly they don't own you as much.
So you've made a career out of this.
Yes.
From your own experiences, you've had a life career in sales with Hallmark and
yes.
packaged goods companies. And what's one piece of wisdom as we close that you've experienced, that you've gone through, that you'd like our audience to know? Like something one big piece one big nugget that they can hang on to and take into the new year.
There's opportunity in everything. Opportunity to get better or worse. It's how we choose to frame it and reframe it, and then have a mentor.
Where do we work with you? I know you do coaching and
you can
workshops. And
find me online at www.resiliencyforlife.com, and inquiry at Resiliency for Life will hit me up.
All right. So Resiliency for Life, and also you're on Facebook. And
oh, yes.
And we'll see you at Mo Mondays, our
Twitter.
good friend Michelle Nerey's event.
Absolutely.
At the Pilot. I want to thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for the opportunity.